TJ Houston here. I wanted to share a blog post that I wrote on my blog over at learntolight.co, but I wanted to do a really quick video just kind of talking about some of the finer points. I feel like, as I took pictures when I was at the mall, I feel like there was a couple things that I kind of wanted to talk to you about. So kind of like you were there with me, what did I see? What was I looking at? So this whole post is all about finding inspiration. In this case, it's at the local mall. Found myself walking around the mall and I just was overwhelmed with the amount of inspiration was there. And I never really noticed that before when I had gone in the past. So I wanted to share kind of 5 things that I found that were helpful to my photography that forced me to, really look outside the box, if you will. So the first thing is watch the light. So this is just an iPhone picture that I snapped here, and this is out, looking down. I was at an outlet mall in Washington, D.C., and a couple questions that as I started to look around, what is the color temperature of the light? Now, exercises like this really help you with your photography, all different types of photography, because when you can look at this kind of thing, when you can study this kind of thing, it makes it easier on the wedding day or when you're in front of your senior, or maybe you are doing fashion. When you can start to identify the light, people say it all the time, you can see the light. This is an exercise that could help you do that. So asking yourself, what do you think the color temperature is? And even if you just think about these things, where are the shadows? So if we look, on the right-hand side, we can see that there's some shadow that's created by the planter or the awnings, or, you can start to see kind of where are the shadows. And then you can also start to see where are the highlights, what is the brightest part of this image, going out in front of the sky versus underneath this kind of roof that's up top, kind of diffuses the lights, and looking at where the lights are, where are the shadows. Then let's say this is where you were photographing for the day, and you had some superstar, some really famous person, where would you put them? You only have 5 minutes with them, where would you put them? So looking at this scene, you can start to see, are there any natural reflectors? So in this image, the left side is actually brighter than the right side. I have the slide kind of over it, but I can assure you that the light is coming in from the top right of the image. It's coming down, it's hitting this wall here, because I could see that this side is brighter than this side is over here, so that light's coming down and it would reflect into your subject. So you can kind of use those natural reflectors in order to get your portrait lighting just right. So watch the light, look for the light, see what's out there. And for me, I was sitting out here waiting for my wife to finish shopping, so instead of being just entrenched in my phone and playing on Facebook or looking up things on Instagram, I just kind of put my phone away and kind of looked around and saw what was around me and what inspiration could I find from this experience. The second thing is people watching. This is so much fun. Watch how people interact with each other. As photographers, we strive to get real facial expressions, real interactions. So focus on people. How do they talk to each other? How do they laugh? How do they smile? What do their natural expressions look like? And then as they're walking through this scene, kind of where does the light hit them? Watch on their face. Are there shadows? Are there blotchy, kind of the blotchy sunspots? What's out there? What can you see? Also, what are their facial features? And ask yourself, how would you light that face? So let's say they have a really long nose. How would you light it? Let's say they have, maybe they have some neck rolls, kind of like I do. How would you light that face? You constantly get this flow of people coming through. It's almost like living flashcards that you can quiz yourself on how you would kind of light that face. So again, the second one is people watch. Finding inspiration in advertisements. So looking at here's just a couple examples that I saw. We were actually on our way out when I kind of had this idea for the post, but this MAC makeup ad, looking at this image, with really awesome, kind of cool makeup, really cool styled shoot, but looking at this light, what are they trying to convey? There's a focus on MAC makeup, obviously, just like down here we're seeing activity, we're seeing, active people, but how, is this something that you could maybe do? Could you do a shoot like this in your studio? Not that you'd maybe do this type of work, but it's something that would get you outside of your comfort zone. And anytime you're outside of your comfort zone, that's where you can really, really start to see that growth. And again, this might not be the stuff that you already shoot, but getting outside of that comfort zone is going to help you become a better photographer. You can also ask yourself, what are these ads trying to convey? What message do they have? Is it, if you're good at sports, come here? Is it, check out our makeup? What are those ads trying to convey? And another thing is, where are your target clients? Are they in these stores? One thing on this slide and another one I'm going to talk about, kind of that target demographic. And advertisements can teach us so much just about how to advertise to our clients. So maybe it could be a styled shoot, and this is just a couple examples, but go store by store and see if you find some shoots, snap a picture of it and see if it's something that you can recreate, something that can inspire you to maybe do a styled shoot in your studio. So like I said in the last one, I talked about target demographics, and that's a really, really interesting one, and this is more on the business side of the house. Again, what are the ads trying to convey? Are they talking to a certain clientele? So not necessarily getting inspiration artistically from the ads like the last slide, but more along the lines of in your business, the people that are shopping here. If you're a children's photographer, this is the Tanger Outlets, their Easter ad. What is it trying to convey? How do you feel when you look at this image? So from that I can find out, where are my target, market shopping? Are they shopping at Guess? Are they shopping at, J. Crew? Or are they shopping at The Gap or maybe Abercrombie? Go into those stores and see what ads they're running, because that's a really easy way for you to kind of tailor your advertisements in your business. You're using all this marketing research that these companies have paid so much money for in order to convey your message, to your clients, and getting those clients in the door. So the last slide was more about the art side and finding inspiration. This slide is more about finding, where your clients are, figuring out where your clients are shopping, and then you can also figure out where your clients aren't shopping. Go in there. See what kind of things are the opposite of where your clients would be shopping, so that way maybe not what to post. If there's a certain feel when you walk into a store, J. Crew is going to advertise much different than probably a Walmart's going to, because they're totally different demographics. Not one better than the other, it's just a different type of clientele. So again, this is more about the business side and looking at ads and trying to figure out how they're appealing to your demographic, the one that you're targeting in your business. And number 5, figure out how these images are lit. I brought these pictures back because, for me, checking out this kind of lighting on his arm where we have this highlight here, but then it falls into shadow. I'm looking at the lights. I'm seeing, maybe how this was lit. Looks like I can see some catch lights here, just like I can see the catch light up here in the eye. Look at the art and see how is that lit. Like, if this was in your studio, how would you light this image? And then take a snapshot and try. Practice, practice, practice. Try to light it in a similar fashion, because just this, like, where we're using this loop lighting here, but it's with a blue highlight versus on this side where it's definitely a lot more white. It's probably a little bit more powerful than this light here to create this kind of tealish shadow. Try to recreate that. And even if you have I keep a mannequin, sounds creepy, I know, but I have a mannequin in my studio, so that way I can practice little things like this. I could try to get that shadow, that color in my studio, because I might want to do something more fashion forward. I might want to try to create a look very similar to this. And as you're looking at the lighting, look in the catch lights and try to figure out what kind of modifier would they use. We could see that this light, it's a little bit more harsh. It's very defined, so they probably had a grid on there or something to kind of focus that light. Same thing here. They're very, almost sniperish, if you will, and they're painting the light exactly where they want, so they have a ton of control of this light. And then ask yourself, is it something that's artificial lighting? Is it natural lighting? How are these things lit? And again, this doesn't cost you a dime. And again, you could go on Pinterest, you can go on Instagram and look at this, but just to sit in front of art, just like going to the art museum and doing these kind of similar exercises, doing it in a mall is more tied to our businesses, because it's tying directly to our clients and who we're trying to sell to. So I hope this was helpful. Please, please, please give me feedback. Feedback is part of the learning process. Again, the whole purpose of this channel, as well as my blog, is to just document how I am learning how to light. It's something that in my business I really haven't focused on. So this is an exercise for me. I am by absolutely no means a subject matter expert in lighting. That is not my goal here. My goal is to document my journey to learn how to be inspired, how to learn how to light, and to share with you guys, because I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are on this exact same path, and I want to collaborate with you guys. So please, please, please Give me some feedback. Let me know what you want to see, what maybe you found some inspiration. And again, check out my website, learntolight.co, and leave your, if you go and check out the mall and you take some snapshots, then please, please, please put them in the comments below on the post, or even, link to, if you write a blog post, in the comments in this YouTube video. I'm here to help you guys, and thank you so much for going along with me on this journey on learning how to light. Thank you guys, and I hope you have an awesome day.